last episode, we had an issue with the title of our Ford Focus. We also had the engine light come back on in Eclipse after the O2 sensors were put in. And, well, because of that, we moved on to another project because we still wanted to make money flipping a car. So we found a Ford Focus with transmission issues. Well, yeah, it had rust on it and it wasn't clean, very dirty. We got it bought, towed, and brought home, and we started working on it, getting the battery charged up. Didn't work. We still had an overheating transmission warning. We tried to do an adaptive learn with the clutch. That didn't work. So in the meantime, we moved on to buffing the car up, getting it all cleaned, and we'll look at that. Then we did a Carfax history report to see if there's any service done on it. We learned that an actuator was not replaced. Unfortunately, the one that was replaced wasn't the one we were hoping for. And as we were expecting, the relearn didn't work again. There is good news. We got a great offer on the Eclipse and we sold it. Then we got the TCM out of our new Ford Focus and we had to pull apart to see if we could find a couple used ones, but it was hard even with 17 on the lot, but we finally did go into another pull apart. And then it started raining on us. Then we got back, put the first TCM in, well, didn't work with the relearn again, and put it in the second one, and well, same result. So time to replace that clutch. For those wondering why we would do such a thing, it's less than $700 for the clutch and a little over $100 for the tool, leaving us about $2,000 invested, and we think we make about $4,000 profit on it. We're gonna just start getting this transmission out. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the battery. Okay, battery is out. I'm now gonna remove this and hope that none of these rusty bolts break. Bolts are out, so now we need to get this box out. These have to be undone here, so we get this box out. Okay, and that frees our box. Next, we're gonna remove this. All right, and these are 15 millimeters. The battery box is 13. These are 15 right here. So these are a little stuck. These bolts on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna add the little bar on the side here. And let's see what happens. All right, guys, our breaker bar is working. Now I'll do the others. And our bracket comes out. There you go. All right, this is the breather hose. So we're gonna disconnect this. Getting the lug nuts loose before we jack it up on this side. But what's weird is this is the tool from the trunk. It's supposed to fit these lug nuts, but they like barely fit. Like, you really gotta like hammer it on. I've been hammering on with this the jack pole, and it just, I don't know why this thing doesn't fit well, but you really just gotta slam it on so it fits. And then should be able to turn. There you go. Okay, all lug nuts are loose. We're gonna jack it up and get this wheel off. Okay, and wheel is off. Most likely we'll be replacing these with new ones because yeah, these are pretty beat up. We had to smash them up to get them off, so I'm sure they can't be too expensive. Now, yeah, I'm gonna take this inner liner off to make it a little easier on us. All right, and the liner's out, but we do now have both wheels are off. I'm gonna spray the PB blaster on that bolt to get the ball joint off. That one's still soaking, so let's keep moving. All right, next we're going to get these 10 millimeter bolts that are holding on the bracket for our shifter right there. The one back there, I needed a longer extension to be able to get to it. And those bolts are out, so we should be able to just remove this. We need to get the shifter off back here. All right, linkage is off, so let's get this linkage out. Okay guys, linkage is out of the way. Okay, and here goes the first transmission bolt back there. I got my bar applied here, so let's see what happens. Oh, it's tight. Okay, and we broke it loose. Okay, and we were able to get this guy going. And the last bolt on the top of the bell housing is right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my breaker bar and break this. Okay, now to get the ball joint here out, we got our wrench, we got our T55. Oh boy, and it was not moving at all, no matter how hard I tried. I was not able to get this undone. I'm gonna need an impact, I think. I don't want to strip any bolts here. I've been trying, lubing it up with putting WD-40 on it, and I haven't really gotten anywhere. I'm going to just hold off on this. All right, time to drain the transmission fluid. So let's get to it. I did have some extra cardboard inserts laying around, so I just kind of lined my driveway a little bit with it. So any oil that gets beyond the pan, I don't want it leaking over my driveway. So let's go for it. Oh, got it. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Drain plug is back in. So I'm having trouble getting these bolts out so I can get the ball joint out. I even have the impact gun I was using, and I just can't seem to break it. So I'm gonna figure out another way to get this free. Okay, so what I decided to do was put the T55 bit onto the ratchet, and then put the 18mm onto the impact. And wow, did that work much, much better. Finally got it off. Now it's time to pound out that ball joint bolt. Okay, and it's a little while later, and we still haven't really gotten anywhere. So I called Frank again and asked him, what about heat? If I could go get a torch at Harbor Freight, it's worth it so I can knock this thing out. He said, good, but you ruin your ball joint. I'm not really trying to add any extra cost onto this vehicle. So he said, just keep hitting it, and once you get it, it'll go. And he says you can do it. So he's giving me the faith to pursue this bolt in getting it out. So he believes in me, so I must believe in myself. All right, let's keep going. So to get this bolt off that I smashed, I'm going to have to try to use a cutoff wheel so I can slide this out. So close. Uh-oh. Is it going? It's going. Oh, it's so close. Oh! Okay, and I did have to go to Harbor Freight to get this 32mm socket so that we could fit this bad boy right there like that. And we're going to take the impact and we're going to get this sucker off. As I got the second axle nut off, I got news about something that I've been waiting for a very, very long time. So remember we had an issue with the title on that Ford Focus that we got from Georgia? Well, I just talked to the guy and he has the new title. So he's gonna send it back over to me, and then I thought, well, doesn't he have to have it like notarized and we both have to be there? So I started freaking out, but then I realized that Georgia is a no notary state. So he can literally just send this title to me. I fill out my information and get it transferred in my name. That's how it works in some states. I think it's kind of crazy that you don't need a notary because anybody can take that title and basically claim ownership of that vehicle, but it is what it is. So he's gonna send it to me, and hopefully we can get this. Well, now I got to get it all back cleaned up because I've been using it to move a bunch of stuff for Brittany's friend this past week, since I couldn't sell it. I figured might as well put it to use. But the downside of that is now we definitely have to go and give this thing a deep clean, a little bit of a reconditioning on some parts. I think we got a couple scratches on it. We'll have to buff out. But that's down the road in a day or two. So let's at least get the title, and then we'll worry about that. Let's keep focusing on the transmission in this 2014 Ford Focus. Okay, so to get that ball joint out, I did go ahead to I went ahead to Harbor Freight, and for 20 bucks I got a ball joint separator. So we're gonna stick this in, and hopefully we can pop it out and then do the same thing to the other side. So here it is. All you gotta do is you gotta start screwing this bolt right through here, and then see where the fork part is gonna go right on the ball joint there. And then we're gonna tighten this up down here with a 3/4 socket. Okay, and as you can see, we still haven't gone almost all the way on this separator, but just for some reason, I can't get this ball joint out. All right, guys, we got the ball joint free. Okay, it's not all the way out yet, but it's close. Yes, this is a very professional way of removing a ball joint. All right, guys, finally we have the ball joint free, but this got kind of stuck, so I get that off. But we're making progress. I'm not gonna lie, this is legitimately the third of these Harbor Freight ball joint separators that I've gone through today. So be careful, don't over tighten it too much. Was my problem, going too far on that bolt. So, and then it comes off track and then you can't get it back on. So lesson learned, guys. Well, with my tool here, I actually managed to cut the boot. It sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, now we gotta pound this so we can start getting this axle out here. Okay, so then what I had to do is I had to pound the front of the axle in. I had this little guy that I took my hammer and just pounded. And as you can see, we're almost out. All right, now I'm taking my pry bar and we're just gonna little by little pry this bad boy out. All right, still trying to get this axle out. So this is where we're at. Ball joint's out. Axle's out of the knuckle. We still have an axle inside the transmission on the driver's side. I'm gonna take a break, get some water, do a little research, and figure out a better way to get this thing out. As I took a break from the driver's side axle, I got started on removing the ball joint on the passenger side. That was a fight. Finally, both ball joints were out and I couldn't be happier, seriously. After I got the ball joints out, it was time to go see my brother in Myrtle Beach, see his new house, and have some fun with him for a little while. Way better. 2, 1. Not a gun guy at all, but I gotta say, I did have a lot of fun.
Like it's gassy. It's a lot of gas.
And after a few fun days with my brother, I was ready to come home and get back working on the Ford Focus. Once I got home from the airport, I was ready to get working on that passenger side axle. And to do that, I needed to take off this carrier bearing. Only 2 bolts hold it in. Okay, and then you get to where the bolts are just be undone by finger. Cap comes off, just like that. All right, guys, now I cannot get this axle out of the spindle here, so Just trying to hit it really, really hard and see if it pops out. The other one that worked on, for some reason this one is not working on. Okay, so I had to put this nut back on so I get a good hit on it. Obviously, the nut is toast now. So I'm gonna keep hitting it, make sure I can get this free, and then I'm gonna take the impact and take this nut off. All right, took the impact, got the nut off. So let's keep going. Definitely see that we have actually pushed this axle in, so we're gonna keep hitting it. And it is through. And we did get this a little bit, but we should be okay with that. Let's go ahead and get this through. And axle is out. Yeah. So now to get this axle out, we're gonna have to go down, pry it away from the carrier bearing, and then we should be able to hopefully pull the axle right out. It's starting to wiggle. All right, I think our axle is coming out, guys. Woohoo! And that is how you pull out an axle. Right, now I haven't been able to get the driver's side axle out. I was hoping maybe if I pull out the passenger, it would allow for this one to come out. I don't know if that's the case, but we're gonna give it a shot right now. So if I can't get this axle out, I think I'm just gonna drop it with it. I've seen people do it, and then figure out once we have the transmission dropped, it'll probably be easier. So I think we'll go ahead and get the transmission jacked up, start taking out the bolts that are left and holding it in, and then see if we can drop it. Now we got the car jacked up. Okay, and here are two right here that we're gonna pop out right there. And our bolts are out there. Now we need to get this guy. Okay, that one's out too. We're gonna break this one free too. Hey guys, and this starter wire is a little stuck, so you're just gonna have to work it back and forth a little bit. I think I'm not sure exactly how to get this off. All right, so I did realize if you pulled on the end of here, you could kind of jiggle it off. So I was able to get that cord off. So now we are going to get our 13 millimeter on that bolt and break it. Ooh, that's a long one. Then FedEx came and dropped off what I was waiting for. I'm so excited. I think that this is our title for our Ford Focus, our black hatchback, that we've been having issues getting it from Georgia with that VIN issue. So let's go ahead and open this up, and fingers crossed, this is it. Oh, guys, here it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, remember that 4 was not there. That was penciled in. But now we got it all verified. Odometer's looking good. So guys, we should be good on this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It finally got here. You remember how much of a pain this was. But I think we are all set now. Time to get back to work. All right. Like I said, we're getting the starter out. Let me show you what we're working with. Okay, so get this guy off here. All right, next one, we gotta get this bracket off. It's gonna be a 10 millimeter right there. And that bolt's coming off there. All right, and we got to get this one back here now. Okay, next we have to get that guy right there. It's holding the other bracket on for the cover for the starter. So we're gonna go ahead and get that off. Okay, and this guy down here is actually coming off pretty easy by hand. Got that out. Okay, now we're able to go ahead and remove that bracket so we can get to the starter bolts. Nice. Okay, and we're gonna get this bolt out right here. We broke it free. And this should be the last one for the starter right there. All right, we should go get the starter out. Okay, so we just had the last one to get off here, off the starter, and we could pull it out. So let's go ahead and get this off here. Okay, and I forgot that there was this one we need to take off too. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we should be able to get the starter out. And that last one right there, that was a 13 millimeter. This was a 10 down here. All right, and this should be able to come out. There is our starter. Okay, and we have to go ahead and remove this little grommet guy here. Okay, they came out pretty easy. So now we should be able to see the bolts. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this because I'm trying to get down there into the bolts for the clutch, but I can't really access it. I need more room, so I'm gonna take this out. And we're able just to actually move that out of the way, so now hopefully we can get some more access in here. I can feel the bolts, so let's give it a shot. Okay, so it actually did work. I was able to get enough clearance. So you gotta have your pry bar stuck here in between one of these grooves so we could stick the wrench in there. And I actually was able to just stick the 13 millimeter right in there, loosen it, and now I think I got this hand tightened. Okay, there's our first one. So now we gotta spin the crank and get to the other bolts. Okay, so I was having an issue trying to get this clutch plate flywheel to turn. So what I had to do was take this TCM off. Let's see if you can see down there. Get down here, turn this gear all the way up, and then I had to take this shift lever. You can see it right here, push it forward twice, and then back 2 clicks, and then that was able to get me to turn the flywheel in a clockwise position so I could get all 6 of these 13 millimeter bolts out. Just dropped a bolt into the transmission, but at least it's doing it on the removal, because that way when we pull it apart we'll find the bolt. But if it was the other way around, transmission would have to come out, it'd be a bad day. So we got one more bolt to go, so let's spin this around and get it out. Okay, and we did just get the last bolt out of that clutch plate flywheel, so we're close, guys. We're really, really close. Let's get that last bolt out. That last one. Definitely be careful on the install that we don't drop any of these bolts. All right, last one. We're almost there. Okay, guys, so we're ready to, I think, get to this bottom mount, do the top mount, separate it, and drop it. So I'm gonna get to the bottom mount right now. And then I went ahead and tackled the top mount. We're also going to go ahead and remove this bracket here. I think they're 15. Okay, those bolts are out. Now I just gotta get this guy back here and remove our bracket. All right, guys, we're gonna try and give it a wiggle. Not really budging. So it's not separating because I did forget one of the bell house bolts. Yeah, whatever I just said. So I forgot to take out the bolt that actually bolts right into right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I got my wrench right in the back of it. I'm just trying to get it. I might have to spray it with some lubricants. Yeah, we'll spray it. This is what I have going on here. So I could break this bolt free. All right, I broke it loose. It worked, guys. All right, the top one's out. Just one more to go. I hope it's only one more. All right, guys, it should be able to start separating now. Yep, we're getting it. Pry bar in there. All right, looking good there. All right, let's shake it a little more. Now I was able to get a pry bar in here. Separate it a little more. All right, so our transmission, I believe, is freed. You can see from the bell housing there. You see there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and lower this down. And transmission is out. Sweet. It is almost lowered. All right, guys, we're getting there. We're getting there. And we're out, guys. Woohoo! Good news is I found, I think, our missing flywheel clutch plate bolt. And I was looking. So if you look at the top, pretty clean on the bell housing. Look at all this gunk on the bottom. Ew, what is that? So I don't know if this is internal parts of the clutch that are causing this, or this is just bad clutch, clutch wear. But what you can see is this has been replaced already, because if you can see, Luck, that's who makes the aftermarket replacement for the clutch, and that's what we're gonna be buying. That is not factory, so I do believe now that they did replace the clutch. I don't know how old it is, there's no record, but yeah, I don't know. We'll take a look at it and see how it looks. That's it for this video, but definitely check out the next video as we install the new clutch and put the transmission back in the car, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get this thing running and we can sell it and make some good money on it. And if we don't get it running, well, I didn't really prepare myself for that yet. So I'm really just hoping that it does.